This is Chiho, a man with an ordinary face and nothing that really stands out. Every day, his routine is exactly the same. He wakes up, buys packaged food, and goes straight to work. Chiho works as a snack manager. His job is to experiment with seasonings, testing combinations again and again until he finds the perfect formula for a new product. He is so dedicated that even during lunch breaks, he prefers to keep working instead of eating. His life runs on strict schedules. He has fixed times for waking up, showering, working, and even watching television. One day, Chiho is invited to appear on an important television program. The topic focuses on snack foods and their impact on human health. However, just minutes before filming begins, the director approaches him with new material. The show now needs a commercial angle, something very different from what Chiho has prepared. The next day, everyone at Chiho's company is called into a major meeting. The content he discussed on television has caused serious problems. His statement that snacks containing MSG are unhealthy directly conflicts with company policy and harms the business. During the meeting, most employees suggest that Chiho should be fired. The company director, however, sees things differently. He does not want to lose Chiho, acknowledging him as a valuable asset whose contributions have helped the company succeed. After the incident, Chiho is given time off to rest and recover. Despite his orderly and disciplined life, he has one major burden: his older brother. Sayoko has just been released from prison and continues to drink heavily and ask Chiho for money. Naive and soft-hearted, Chiho gives him large sums of cash, even though he knows it will only be used for gambling. This is the life he lives now. This is Honey Sweet. The story then shifts to Il-young, a single mother applying for a job at a bank. Her application is immediately rejected because she still has outstanding loans at the same bank. Refusing to give up, Il-young finds a loophole in the hiring requirements, which allow housewives to apply. Thanks to her persistence, she is hired the next morning. With renewed energy, Il-young begins working as a debt collector. Even though she faces insults and harsh words, she remains cheerful because she is grateful to be working again. In reality, her life is very lonely. She is an unmarried single mother living only with her grown daughter, Jinju. Raising a child on her own has been extremely difficult, forcing her to save money on almost everything, even things that truly matter. Back with Chiho during his leave, his boss gives him a box to use while resting at home. Innocently, Chiho hands the box of company herbs to his brother without checking what is inside. It turns out the box is filled with cash. Sayoko immediately spends the money recklessly, partying with his girlfriend and gambling once again. On that same day, Il-young is assigned to collect overdue debt from Sayoko, who has not made payments for several months. Acting casually, Sayoko shifts the responsibility and asks Chiho to pay instead. Kind and innocent as always, Chiho goes straight to the bank and waits for his turn. While waiting, a man sitting nearby becomes angry and starts shouting profanities. Noticing a small child sitting close by, Chiho gently asks the child to cover their ears while joking about something random. The awkward but sweet moment catches Il-young's attention. When Chiho's turn finally comes, Il-young is shocked. Without hesitation, Chiho immediately pays off his brother's entire debt. Curious, Il-young checks his information and is surprised to learn that this 45-year-old man is still single. She tries to tease him playfully, but Chiho is far too innocent to pick up on it. Instead, he asks for compensation for parking fees since he waited in line for so long. As Chiho is about to leave, Il-young calls out to him to give him a parking token. She accidentally slips on the stairs and Chiho freezes for a moment, simply watching. Realizing what happened, he quickly carries her to the hospital. On the way, Chiho suddenly feels weak and collapses as well. An ambulance rushes both of them to the emergency room. At the hospital, Il-young is found to have only minor injuries. Chiho, however, is not doing well at all. Doctors discover that he suffers from malnutrition caused by years of unhealthy eating, relying heavily on MSG snacks, chips, and junk food. Feeling sorry for him, Il-young invites Chiho to eat gimbap together. She is impressed by his sharp understanding of physics theories, though he becomes awkward whenever the conversation turns personal. Il-young cannot understand why Chiho is willing to pay all the debts of a brother who is unemployed and addicted to gambling. To Chiho, however, Sayoko is the kindest person in the world. As children, Sayoko always defended him from bullies, so Chiho believes it is only right to support his brother now. In an unexpected moment, Chiho suddenly lets out a loud fart during the meal. He sincerely believes that passing gas helps release bad thoughts from the body. Days later, Chiho visits a doctor to receive his health test results. He is warned that if he continues eating packaged snacks, he could die young. The warning deeply conflicts with his job as a snack researcher, leaving him frustrated as he walks away. On his way home, Chiho calls Seok-ho to talk about his declining health. His brother simply reassures him and urges him not to quit his job. When Chiho stops to buy food, he suddenly remembers that Il-young borrowed money from him to cover hospital bills. Completely straightforward, he immediately calls her to ask for repayment. Il-young laughs it off and promises to pay him directly, as long as he picks her up after work. Once again, Il-young forgets to bring cash and suggests cooking for him instead. When they arrive at her home, Chiho hesitates to go inside, feeling awkward. Il-young laughs it off, reminding him that they are both over 40 and single, so there is nothing strange about sharing a meal together. Il-young cooks skillfully, and when Chiho tastes the food, he is deeply moved. This is the first time he has ever experienced proper home-cooked meals. Feeling sorry for him, Il-young offers to eat together every day. Chiho happily agrees and offers to teach her how to drive in return. After dinner, Chiho awkwardly hands her some money as a thank you. Il-young laughs and calls him cute. For the first time in his 45 years, Chiho feels his heart flutter in a way he never has before. Not long after, Jinju returns home from college and is surprised to see so much food in the house. She dislikes the idea of her mother having male guests, based on past experiences where her mother's relationships always ended badly. This time, however, Il-young feels that this man might be different. As days pass, Chiho meets Il-young again and begins teaching her how to drive. They shop for kitchenware, watch movies together, and spend time joking around. Chiho's life slowly starts to change. He clears out all the packaged food in his refrigerator and replaces it with real, healthy meals. At times, Il-young sits very close to him, something Chiho is still not used to. In the evenings, they continue talking on the phone late into the night, sometimes until morning. Eventually, Chiho's leave ends and he returns to work. His cheerful mood is obvious to his coworkers, who quickly guess that he has started dating someone. One of them jokes that if he cannot be handsome, then he should at least be funny. At the next meeting, Chiho actually puts that advice into practice by hosting a small quiz. The following day, he even brings up adult topics that he himself barely understands. Saturday arrives, and Il-young subtly hints that she has free time on Sunday, hoping Chiho will ask her out. Completely unaware, Chiho talks about something else entirely. In the end, Il-young has to be the one to invite him. On Sunday, they go to the beach and enjoy a date like young people, even though Il-young is the one who reaches for his hand first. They eat together, and once again, Chiho orders his favorite fried chicken instead of seafood or anything else. At the end of the date, they head to a drive-in cinema near the beach. Along the way, Chiho casually comments on cheap roadside motels, which makes Il-young, already deeply attracted to him, get caught up in the moment and kiss him. As she reaches closer, Chiho becomes extremely nervous and suddenly jumps out of the car. The situation turns embarrassing as his pants slip down, drawing the attention of everyone around. Il-young feels deeply embarrassed and wants to leave, but Chiho stops her with his awkward blinking gesture. Strange as it is, it works, and they reconcile. After returning from the date, Chiho is startled when Seok-ho suddenly appears and interrogates him. Just by looking at Chiho's calendar, Seok-ho immediately realizes that his brother is dating someone. The next day, without Chiho knowing, Seok-ho confronts Il-young. He explains that Chiho suffered an accident at the age of 10, which slowed his development and made him a frequent target of bullying. Seok-ho believes that Il-young is approaching Chiho only to take advantage of him, using his money to support her life as a single mother. That night, Il-young becomes deeply troubled and begins to distance herself from Chiho. She even refuses to answer his calls. Seeing her emotional state, her supervisor takes the opportunity to approach her and invite her out for drinks. At first, Il-young does not realize his intentions, but when he crosses the line, she defends herself and leaves him badly beaten. Heartbroken and confused by Il-young's sudden distance, Chiho waits outside her house. Eventually, they talk. Il-young admits that she feels inferior and believes she is easy to approach simply because she is a single parent. To Chiho, that is never how he sees her. No matter her past, she is still a precious woman to him. Reassured by his sincerity, they make up once again. Suddenly, Chiho complains of stomach pain. Worried about his health, Il-young suggests that he should consider quitting his job. The salary may be high, but constantly consuming large amounts of MSG is slowly damaging his body. This inner conflict leaves Chiho feeling deeply torn. On one hand, the company shows little concern for his health. When he gets sick, he is told to see a doctor, and once he recovers, he is expected to return to work immediately. Il-young strongly opposes this, worried about his well-being and caring deeply for him. When Chiho's coworkers notice that the once innocent and passive man has suddenly developed strong opinions and insists on resigning, they begin to suspect outside influence. Their curiosity soon leads them to Il-young. The company director, unwilling to lose a genius like Chiho, decides to step in and interfere, even if it means sabotaging their relationship. Trouble does not stop there. Il-young's ex-boyfriend suddenly contacts her again, claiming he only wants to check on the children. Meanwhile, Seok-ho grows increasingly angry because Chiho no longer hands over half of his salary for gambling. Frustrated, Seok-ho instructs his girlfriend to seduce Chiho and pull him away. As a result, on their way to a restaurant, Chiho's car is followed by 3 suspicious vehicles. Suddenly, Il-young's ex-boyfriend, who is chasing them, gets into an accident and is forced to stop. Soon after, the company director unexpectedly shows up and joins them for lunch. When he begins flirting with Il-young, she reacts instantly in a bizarre but effective way by pretending to pass gas, completely killing his mood. At the same time, Seok-ho's girlfriend, who is watching from outside, is greeted by Il-young. It turns out they used to work together. What was meant to be an affair attempt turns into an awkward reunion at the same table. Even more surprising, the director becomes interested in the calm and reserved woman instead. The night continues from drinks at a bar to karaoke until late. When it is time to go home, Il-young hints once again that her house is empty and she will be alone. Innocently, Chiho says he would like to stop by for a moment. Il-young teases him by suggesting that he should stay the night. Hearing this, Chiho becomes flustered and decides to look for snacks to calm himself down. Instead of going to a convenience store, he ends up at a pharmacy, asking for medicine because his heart is racing. The pharmacist is confused at first, but soon realizes the cause is love, not illness, meaning no medicine is needed. On his way back to Il-young's place, a chicken vendor suddenly appears and asks for a ride. As a thank you, the vendor gives Chiho a bottle of beer. Chiho reaches into his wallet to offer payment, only to discover that it is filled not with cash, but with stacks of coupons he has collected over time. Eventually, Chiho returns to Il-young's house carrying the beer. Fortunately, she is not upset despite the long wait. Just as their date is about to continue, Il-young receives devastating news. Jinju's father, who is also her former partner, has passed away. Together, they head to the mourning house. At the same time, Jinju finally meets Chiho for the first time. Traumatized by the men who have come and gone in her mother's life, she does not trust him. She questions everything about their relationship, listing each detail one by one with intense scrutiny. Not long after, Seok-ho arrives in a fit of anger and immediately strikes Chiho. He cannot stand seeing how close Chiho has become with Il-young. Trying to protect him, Il-young fights back. After this incident, exhaustion finally takes over. Il-young decides to give up and asks Chiho not to come see her anymore. Chiho loses all motivation at work and sinks into sadness. Il-young is no better, spending her nights drinking and feeling empty. After work one evening, Chiho visits the pharmacy again, complaining that his chest feels tight, as if he is on the verge of collapse. This time, the pharmacist hints that Chiho already knows what he needs to do. Driven by that realization, Chiho goes to Il-young's house. Nearby, a neighbor is seen dressed neatly, preparing to propose to his girlfriend, singing as he does so. At the same moment, Il-young arrives and finds Chiho sitting there, looking defeated. Overcome with regret, Chiho reflects on how unaware he has been. He finally gathers the courage to express his feelings and take responsibility for his love. Their closeness ends up overshadowing the young couple next door, and the warmth between them is felt by everyone nearby. The next morning, Chiho returns home and is shocked to find Seok-ho waiting in anger. This time, Chiho does not back down. He refuses to accept the accusation that Il-young only approached him for money. Overwhelmed with emotion, Chiho reveals that the person who has been draining his finances all along is Seok-ho himself. The story then shifts into a flashback. The brothers were raised by different mothers, yet Chiho's mother showed no difference in her affection. She loved and accepted Seok-ho as her own. One day, however, Seok-ho's biological mother reappeared, asking only for money. Seok-ho was devastated and eventually chose to live on the streets. After Seok-ho had been gone for a long time, Chiho and his mother went out searching for him. Tragically, his mother was hit by a car and lost her life. Chiho suffered a severe head injury that slowed his mental development. Despite this, he grew up with extraordinary intelligence. Whenever Chiho was bullied by other children, Seok-ho was always there to defend him. Sadly, as an adult, Seok-ho chose the wrong path and became a troublemaker. In his turmoil, he even developed harmful intentions when he saw Jinju passing by. The story returns to Chiho and Il-young now sharing a deep conversation. Aware of their complicated family backgrounds, they decide not to rush their relationship toward marriage. Unexpectedly, when they arrive in front of the house, Seok-ho sneaks inside and attempts to harm Jinju. Fortunately, Jinju knows how to defend herself and escapes unharmed. Still, witnessing her child nearly being put in danger shatters Il-young's heart. Chiho is equally furious with Seok-ho for continuously burdening his life. The following day, Chiho makes a major decision and officially resigns from his job. His days fall into unhealthy habits again, eating poorly, staying up late, and drinking. Often he goes out jogging at dawn to release his sorrow, sometimes continuing until night falls. One day, while lost in thought, Il-young unexpectedly sees him. They exchange brief updates, and from their eyes alone, it is clear that they still love each other. Yet family ties they cannot abandon stand between them, making everything painfully difficult. One night, Chiho unexpectedly runs into an old colleague who offers him a role in a live television program discussing snack foods and their impact on health. The show is set to air live, but Chiho is still expected to follow the director's prepared script. Just 10 minutes before the broadcast begins, the director suddenly calls Chiho and tells him to speak honestly and be himself. To stir his emotions even more, the director casually adds that Il-young might be leaving the country. After ending the call, Chiho becomes completely unsettled. His thoughts drift and he struggles to focus on the discussion. Instead of promoting snacks as healthy as planned, he speaks honestly. He explains that consuming snacks should always have limits. Eating them occasionally is fine, but overconsumption can lead to serious nutritional deficiencies. During the live broadcast, Chiho also openly expresses his true feelings for Il-young. Watching from home, Seok-ho is overwhelmed with regret for being an obstacle in his brother's life. Quietly, he goes to Jinju and apologizes for everything he has done. This time, he sincerely asks for her blessing for her mother's relationship with Chiho. Later that evening, after returning home, Jinju asks for some fruit to be cut. When Il-young enters the room, she notices a laptop replaying Chiho's heartfelt confession. Deeply moved, she rushes out in a hurry. In an unexpected moment on the road, Il-young accidentally collides with a car, only to realize that Chiho is inside. In a scene filled with emotion, she runs toward him and embraces him, and the two decide to reunite. Perhaps it is true that a man's love can be devoted entirely to just one woman, and that is exactly how Chiho feels about Il-young. Even though they are no longer young, their love story proves that romance does not belong only to the young. The film ends on a warm note, with Chiho and Il-young opening a unique business together, a gimbap drive-thru. So the moral of the story is, if you eat too much MSG, ignore your health, and panic around romance, love might still come, but only after maximum embarrassment.